Welcome to Garden Crossings. I'm Heidi. Today I am going to be planting up 5 different container combinations that we actually are going to be selling here in our retail garden center. But I thought this might be fun for you, some inspiration and just ideas of plants that we're choosing to put together that may look like something that could work for you in your containers or hanging baskets. So the first one we're starting with here, we call it Firefly. And in this combination, we have the Plectranthus. This is just variegata. It's just a beautiful variegated foliage type plant. It's going to fill out and trail over in this combination. We also are using the Surefire Rose Begonia, and you can see the beautiful flowers here just starting on this Surefire Rose, the nice dark foliage. These plants here, this is all going to be for a part shade to full sun garden. And then the thriller that we're using in this combination is the Kimberly fern, and this is a great fern that can handle full sun areas. So let's go ahead and get this planted, and I'm going to also tell you the layout, so if this is something that you're looking to do, you'll have an idea of where to place the plants in the container combination. So many of these containers might have some different amounts of plants in it. When we decide the combination, we're also looking at the vigor of the plants. So we know some plants aren't quite as vigorous as others, and we may need to plant more, where other plants we know that they're a super vigorous variety and just 1 or 2 of those varieties will fill in the container. So getting started, we're going to take this Kimberly fern, and this is going to be the thriller in the combination. So we're going to go ahead, just dig a hole here in the center of the pot, and I'm going to put it in there pretty much level with the soil. We had these pre-filled before we started. It's always important to use fresh, new potting soil when you are planting up your container combinations, because if you're using soil from last year's planters, there's just no nutrients left in that soil, and a lot of time there's all kinds of roots, and it's not a good idea to plant into old soil. So make sure you get yourself a bag of fresh potting soil. So we have 2 of the Plectranthus and also 2 of the Surefire Rose. So how we're going to plant those is kind of diagonal of each other. So 1 rose will go there up front. Another rose will go kitty corner, or exactly opposite. Then we'll take the Plectranthus. It's pretty warm in the greenhouse today. It is we're about mid-March, I guess. It's first day of spring, actually, so what better to be doing than planting up containers on the first day of spring. But it's also because it's so warm in here, these plants are starting to get kind of dried out. So once I get these planted up, we're going to need to get water on them right away. So I'm just adding a little bit of additional soil there. You can see this has got an excellent root system. I'm not doing anything to break apart the roots. I'm just planting it right in the container as it is. There we go. So that's what the Firefly combination looks like. Now that will continue to grow and fill out as the spring goes along and into summer. But how we're envisioning this is a beautiful fern that gets about yay tall in this combination, full of begonias here on either side, which will probably wrap almost halfway across the whole container. And then this Plectranthus will just kind of fill in and spill over for this combination. I'm going to go ahead and put the plant tags in because these are valuable for the person who's going to purchase this container with all the planting and growing instructions. So once you get a container planted up and or purchased, it's always a good idea to fertilize it. So we recommend fertilizing the container combinations and hanging baskets at least once a week. So typically I tell our customers, pick a day, maybe it's Saturday. That's the day you go out and do your fertilizing. Watering may need to happen every 1 to 2 days, depending on where you're at in the season. And also too, if it's a rainy day, you're not going to need to do as much water, or if it's a full sun day, you may need more. The beautiful thing with these containers is they have drain holes in the bottom so that if they do get overwatered, the water will just spill out onto the ground. So here is the second one. This one we call Queen of the Tropics. Here we have the compact tropical rose sun patient, and you can see it's got the beautiful bicolor foliage there, and then it's going to get bright hot pink flowers on it. And we're going to use 4 of these. And the thriller in this combination is going to be the Queen Tut Graceful Grass, which is a beautiful kind of strappy with these beautiful little fireworks blooms on it, and that will get about 18 to 20 inches tall. So let's go ahead and get this planted up. Never mind these containers, we're just using these to get these plants a little bigger. This is a proven winner annual. So we're going to start planting up Queen of the Tropics by placing the Queen Tut in the center of the pot here. And that's going to be our thriller. Next, we're going to take the Sun Patience Compact Tropical Rose, and we have 4 of these, so I'm just going to plant them. Think of it like a square, each corner. These Sun Patience, they get really large, so they're going to really fill out this planter nicely. And the variegation with that foliage and the flower, I think, is really cool. So this is a full sun combination that we're planting up. Sun Patients are a type of impatient that can handle full sun to part shade areas. So I'm saying full sun, but this also can go in a part sun area as well. One thing I will tell you with this combination, the cypress grass, that's a really thirsty plant. It's like a water plant, so it does like the water, and Sun Patients as well like to be watered really well. So make sure that you're keeping this planter really good and watered. Otherwise, you might see the Sun Patients kind of start to wither a little bit. Usually they perk right back up after you give them water, but if you do notice that they're starting to kind of droop, it's telling you that they're thirsty. Just add in some supplemental soil there. Put the plant tags back in the container. And there we go. Now, one thing I will say as far as fertilizing this container, because this one has Sun Patients in it, Sun Patients are not an annual that love fertilizer. So a lot of times we'll find if we fertilize these a lot, they'll just kind of stop flowering. So I do recommend fertilizing it, but doing it at kind of a low dose and not quite as often. So maybe every 2 to 3 weeks fertilizing this, and do it at more of a diluted concentration with the fertilizer that you're using. This combination is called Sunny Days Ahead. What a fun name. And it's got the new persimmon petunia. Look at the beautiful colors here of persimmon, kind of that corally orange with the yellow centers. So this planter has 2 of those, which are going to be more of our filler and spillers in this combination. And then we also have the whirlwind blue scavola, which is going to be kind of more of a wispy type plant that will kind of fill in around the edges. And then our thriller, we're going to do the Rockin' Deep Purple Salvia. So you can see it's got some little buds starting there, and this is going to get probably about 24 inches tall in this container combination. So a beautiful mix of purples along with that corally yellowy orange color. It's going to be really pretty. So this is a new combination that we're doing this year, and because of persimmons in it, we tried to incorporate some of the newer annuals in some of our mixes, just so we can show people how to use some of the new annuals and what to mix them with. So we're going to first dig this Rockin' Purple in here, Salvia, planting it right smack in the center because that is going to be the thriller for this combination. We have 2 persimmons, so we're going to plant those opposite of each other. And these are looking really dry right now. They need a drink, so we'll get these watered in really well once we're done planting. I've been really impressed with this Supertunia persimmon, and the customers so far that have been ordering online, they too have liked it because we've sold out of it twice already and have had to order more plants in. We'll get the Scavola Blue planted. We'll be planting these opposite of each other. Really nice root system there. Dig it in, push it in, add a little soil in the gaps. The gals that pre-filled these all for me did a great job because I really haven't had to add a whole lot of filler dirt. So they guesstimated what we were going to need really good. Put the little tag that identifies the combination, which is Sunny Days Ahead. We'll put that back in there. And I think this is going to be really pretty on the sales floor. This is a fun combination with a fun name. It's called Hipster. And in Hipster, we have the Queen Tut Cypress Grass. We also have the Supertunia Really Red. And you can see there's such a very vibrant, beautiful, bold red coloration. We have the Supertunia Imperial Blue, which I don't have flowers, so we'll show you the tag, but really a very vibrant purple color. And then we've got the Super Bells Yellow, which is just I don't know, I think I love to use yellow in a lot of combinations because this is such a crisp, clean, I think really nice looking yellow. And it just really sets off the colors in different combinations. And it's a color that goes with everything. So in this one here, there are 7 plants. And we're going to go ahead and get these out of the way to start with. We're going to first dig this graceful grasses, this Queen Tut Cypress Grass, into the center. Now this container is going to have a lot packed into it, so we'll probably have to remove some soil. But we'll start off here with the Super Bells Yellow. And I'm going to plant these across from each other. Got to get that grass in the center. Nothing drives me more nuts than when that thriller isn't centered. All right, so the Super Bells Yellow. Next, we're going to do the Superbina Imperial Blue. Look at that root system on that. And because these have 6 plants, I have to make sure that I'm leaving enough room to get them all planted. And I have to make sure I go in the right order as well. And then last, we'll tuck in the Supertunia Really Red. So this is going to be a beautiful sun combination with shades of red, purple, and yellow. And then that beautiful green cypress grass is the thriller in the middle. This was a combination that we did last year and it went over really well. So we're planting it again this year. How we make our decisions when we're planting these containers is we look at what sold well last year, and if it sold well, we continue and grow it another year. If it seemed to not do so well as far as sales, we'll go ahead and eliminate it. But we'll also look to see if a combination we put together just didn't go well, didn't combine well. And if that's the case, we'll eliminate it also and add some new designs into our mixes. So here we have the Hipster combination. The last container combination in this series is called On the Rocks. And this has the Rockin' Deep Purple Salvia that we're using as the thriller. Beautiful purple blooms. The hummingbirds love this plant. And then we're doing Super Bells Great Punch, which this is one of those all-time favorite Super Bells. I use this a lot in a lot of the combinations I do. I love the deep purple with that deep purple eye. And then we have the Superbina Sparkling Amethyst, which is not blooming quite yet, so you'll have to use a tag for reference. And that's going to add just a little touch of white to this highly purple combination. And last but not least, the Laguna Ultraviolet. So this is a lobelia, and you can see the beautiful purple blooms there. So like I said, if you don't like purple, you're probably not liking this combination, but purple actually is one of our top selling colored annuals. So we tend to do a lot of purple in what we do because we just know that people like purple. All right, let's go ahead and take it apart. So in the center, we're going to put the Rockin' Salvia as our thriller. Great plants for attracting the hummingbirds. And that really, when I plant my combinations, besides having a great pop of color, I always like to consider, like, will this attract hummingbirds or butterflies as well? And anything you can put to get the hummingbirds to the garden, I think is kind of an added bonus. So we got the Great Punch Super Bells. And we'll plant across another Great Punch Super Bells. You can see that these have kind of a little bit of a light root system. I'm not concerned about that. Once they get planted in this container, they're just going to take off and flourish. Next, we've got the Laguna Ultraviolet. Another Laguna Ultraviolet. And then lastly, the Superbena Sparkling Amethyst. So Sparkling Amethyst, if you love that kind of bicolor, there is also one called Sparkling Rose, which is more of a pink shade. So if you're more of a pink person, Sparkling Rose might be more what you would be looking for. Sparkling Rose actually would also look really nice in this combination if you wanted to create kind of a pinkish purple look. And then lastly, we'll tuck in the one more verbena over here. Kind of get the soil all tucked in around the plants well. This is a full sun loving combination. Shades of purple. Attracts the hummingbirds to the garden. Here we have it, on the rocks. If you have any questions on any of the container combinations that I planted today, feel free to leave the comments below. We were able to pop up the tag of all the varieties, so hopefully that will, you can just stop the video if you want to know what's in each combination, and you can write it down based off the tag. But like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We always love to hear your feedback. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.